Hey, Mr. Customer, my name is Zach Metz over at Buckeye. I will be presenting the Symmetry Packet. So one thing we focus on with Symmetry is lowering HAI in a healthcare setting. These are some of our partners. Presbyterian and Shriner Hospital are ones that are familiar in the Jersey area. The Symmetry Packet program is built off of best practices, and these are where we got our information when we made hand hygiene. These are our best practices. So what we focus on is acceptance equals compliance equals lower HAI. So basically we wanted to give a product that people are going to be which will lead to better compliance, which will lead to lower HAI. Incorporated point to care, behavioral modification, and behavioral modification tools to help prevent and lower HAI. Through clinical evaluations, our product has been the one that healthcare workers choose because of its gentle touch. So with this product, it dries quick. It doesn't leave any sticky residue, so you can put your gloves back on, your Don gloves. And then it also hydrates and dries quickly. So there was a study from a third party at Duke University, and it showed that a hospital was spending almost $1,800,000 on HAI infections, and how just a small 1% of compliance got up to almost $40,000. And right down here, Mercer accounts for fewer than 8% of HAI. Over on here, Mr. Customer, we did a study at Advancement Health against Purell. We did one at Presbyterian against Ecolab, and then we did one at BJC against ICP Health. And what I want to point out to you, Mr. Customer, is once this study was done, we had easy, quality, fragrance, fast drying, etc. But one thing I want to focus on is this number. So this is our 1,308 people liked our Symmetry program compared to Purell, which is only 44. So that's a 90% liking of the product. And then over at BJC, we had a doctor, Jenny Zach, which great last name, my first name, wanted to go further into this study, which was great. So she actually did a monthly study. So this was the current product that they had. And what I want to focus on, Mr. Customer, is number 7, where it says right down here, my skin does not feel irritated, not dry, chapped. And there was actually a 41% disagreed and a 14% disagreed. So 50% disagreed. And down here to number 10, Mr. Customer, I recommend this product based on the performance. Only 25% agreed for the current one. Now going to our product, Symmetry. Same question, Mr. Customer. For number 7, my skin does not feel irritated, not dry, not chapped. And then for agreed, it is 26% to 77%. Or my apologies, 14% to 77%. So that is a 90% of agreed. And then would I recommend this product based on the performance? There's a 75% that would agree based on that. And ultimately, at the end of the study, the doctor decided that it made sense for them to change out the hand sanitizer dispensers to save money, and ultimately saving them money and ultimately providing them a better product. And what this ended up doing for BJC was they ended up saving $200,000 in this year when this study was done. So we do have aloe in our product, but we still are FDA compliant with the data that is given. We have customizations of our product. As you see to my left, there's a customization for a company, of a healthcare company that we work for. And there's also a little saying right there, friends, staff. So you can do a little customization, which is great. This is our behavioral modification. We utilize behavioral modification science and compliance. So this is our 6 tenets. The one thing I do want to focus on, Mr. Customer, is accountability. So the one thing we focus on for accountability for our behavioral modification is you might have a dispenser like this that has a mirror, and the individual will look in the mirror and hold themselves accountable to be more compliant to protect them and others in healthcare setting. Here's another example, like right behind me, of behavioral modification, custom dispensers. You have your behavioral modification right down here and here. Here's another form of the behavioral modification, Mr. Customer. This is our mode. This will actually display an image or a saying or a video just to capture people's attention so they're more in depth to be more compliant with hand hygiene. This is another behavioral modification. This is our, visual lighting cue. This actually shoots off a red light every 5 seconds. And we have upwards to almost 50% compliance based on this. And then here's another one. This one's probably my favorite, Mr. Customer. So the great part about this is another behavior modification, when you use a pump, there's actually a little smiley face, if you could see that pops up right after you do the pump. There's actually one that's a little thumbs up, so it shows the individual that's hand sanitizing and people around, so they see that, of them being compliant. This is another study done as well. Without any behavioral modifications, there was only about 640 compliance. When they added in a behavioral modification with the mirror, like I brought up earlier, they saw a uptick of 2,909 for behavioral modification. This actually ended up going down, so they changed out the behavioral modification and changed it to the VL lighting for the red light going off every 5 seconds. This boosted it back up to 2,551 compliance. So, Mr. Customer, and then at the end of the day, these are our products. Green Seal products, made in the USA. The ones I do want to focus on is our green certified hand soap, our non-alc, and our liquid alcohol hand sanitizer as well. So, Mr. Customer, there was a study done by the Joint Community on point of care. They realized that there was failure of hand hygiene when their individual was with a patient. They were with a patient, they had to run out, do some hand hygiene on the wall, and we wanted to make it more accessible to the individual who's working with that patient. So these are our accessibilities. You have a little clamp that can go on a movable desk. This one's probably my favorite. This one goes right on your side. Little suction cups for this, side suction cups, and more for the little mobile desks. And then also on this page, Mr. Customer, there are some examples of our point of care in action. As you can see on the side of the desks, maybe it's not as accessible where you can get to a wall mount, but there's point of care in there as well. All right. And then also, Mr. Customer, there is a system where you can keep track of how much pumps, not through us. It's going to go through these organizations if you'd want to keep track of that. And then there's also an app where you can keep track of how many pumps as well. So, Mr. Customer, I'd love to set up a Symmetry challenge with you in the near future. But before we talk about that, I do want to talk about our dispenser. The great part about our dispenser is it has a built-in unique design of 180 angles that you can access. You have your customization as you see. You have your designated opening lock right back here. So if you need to lock this, you can, and there's a key right back here. One of the great parts too is it has a strong plastic, similar to a football helmet, so it can take the impact. But if you want to take it apart, and I'm going to try to do this with, there we go. I just shot it across the room, but you can take that apart and replace the parts. We have replacement parts if needed. And then also, I like the non-vandalized edges, so this can't be broken into. So this is where the product is. You have a hermetically sealed bag. It has a 99% evacuation rate, and then you have our patented bevel. This is a little accordion, so where the product can be dispensed. Just one hand, there we go, and it gets sucked back in. And Mr. Customer, like I said, I'd love to set up a Symmetry challenge with you and really see the effects of our product can do for you and your organization. Thank you.